Hey there. How did all the sports algorithms do yesterday on Tuesday the 14th? They did pretty well. And we're going to talk about the results from yesterday. We're not going to talk about any predictions for Wednesday because I haven't prepared the algorithms yet for Wednesday. But I did want to mention in this video that it's pretty much part of my daily schedule that I'll get up in the morning and I will update every single one of the active sports algorithms for the day, just in case somebody needs them. And just because I like to know, I like to be able to answer questions about what the algorithms say anytime someone messages me right off the bat. So I will do all of them basically on a daily basis when they're an active sport. That's college basketball right now. NFL, I need to update NFL week 11 today. That's next on my schedule after this video. Hockey, because that's my favorite sport to watch and to play. College football, because I did start college football this year, and we'll have a little discussion about college football in this video. There's already been some games this week that I missed on Tuesday, I believe, but I got to do some more of that. And then NBA, which is probably the second best algorithm behind college basketball. So I'll do all of them. And I thought, all right, well, I know that people would like to purchase copies and get updated copies. And I agree, it's too expensive to, if you wanted to buy all of these on one day, I guess it would be $250 because I charge $50 for each algorithm, individual purchase. But because I get up and I generally do update all of these every day regardless, I will sell a bundle at $69, meaning you get all active sports that I've done for the day for 69 bucks. That's all five right now. So, do the math on that. It's about 70 divided by five, folks. So you're looking at basically like 13 or $14 for each on average. And you'll get all of them. Now, I do want to put the caveat in there that if I'm traveling, if my kid's got like a hockey tournament or I'm out on the road and I haven't been able to update one of these for the day or a couple of them for that day, you're going to get the previous day's version and you'll have to do some updates yourself. But understand that that's pretty much, I'd say that's infrequent. I'm generally able to get all these done every day. They're not all perfect though, but I am able to get them done. So that's what I'm offering. So I'm going to condense everything down because I'm getting multiple requests for people who are saying, hey, I'm crushing it with your college basketball file. Can I buy college football? How's that doing? Can I buy NFL? How's NBA doing? And so I wanted to use this video to kind of go over how they're doing and how to read them and my honest advice about whether or not you should use them. All right. So first we'll start with college basketball, which of course did well yesterday. And so what you're looking at a 46-12 day using past seasons stats. Pretty darn good. Home teams at a 5% bump. Home teams go 36-7. We win 84% of them. And as I passively watched some of these games yesterday, you can see you lose someone's way down at the bottom, and a couple crazy upsets. It was what was it, like Abilene Christian lost to Prairie View at -4,000, and also Loyola Marymount loses at -4,000. So those are just nuts that nobody had, and the other ones are way down at the bottom. This is a pretty good day. So that's past year, right? But remember, what I talked about is a way to combine current year and past year. So when you go to current year stats, which is what things will be evolving into for the college basketball algorithm for pretty much the rest of the season, it goes 40-18. So not as good, better on the spread, but this is the part that I wanted to talk about. So we have this chosen and not chosen, which the chosen slicer here is telling you which teams it shows current year and also past year. It's the union of both of those stats, 33-5 overall, right? 87% win, losing these two crazy games that nobody would have had. Abilene Christian is actually way down here under current year stats. Those two. Then look at this USC game that you lose. They were at 83% health. Like, there's a reason that they could lose this game due to injuries, and you see this poking out here. So you're really looking at two unexplained close losses, and that's Loyola at -750 and Holy Cross, which they stink anyway. Holy Cross is both these teams stink. I actually played that game yesterday, and I'm annoyed because I hate playing them. So And then that's a real close one, right? So this is an amazing, amazing day with the union of the chosen and not chosen. It's the kind of stuff, look at that, 22 and 16 on the spread. Over-unders didn't work as well, so we need to work on our points to get our points doing better things. But this is pretty darn good. I mean, what's the profitability when we scroll down and we look at our running total profitability? Ends up being 12% overall. That means if you bet the money line on every single one of these games, you made 12% on the day, no problem. 4 units apparently on these 38 games. That's a recipe for just being unable to lose when you're having numbers like this. And so college basketball does amazing things. I'll keep updating it. I will keep working on this one to make it better, because when anyone asks me, Ken, what's the best algorithm you make? What's the most reliable thing to make money? I always tell them college basketball, and it always ends up winning. So not every day, and some days it won't win, but it's rare. It wins almost every day. It's really unbelievable. So college basketball, good. Let's go to the next most reliable, being NBA. And the reason why NBA is the next most reliable is it's basketball, and basketball has more points and fewer players, and it's easier to predict and easier to understand the flow of a basketball game, a game that has more points than other sports like hockey, like soccer, like baseball, and even like football. Basketball has more points than all of those sports in a game, and it's one of the reasons why it's more easy to predict those games. So we go 5-5 on Tuesday, and I would say that the only thing I'm upset about is losing the Mavericks, because this is at the top of the list, and they were healthier than the Pelicans. Don't understand why they lost this game. They ended up losing by 21. Like, what happened? What happened? Mark Cuban, what happened, dude? Like, this doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. I mean, sometimes you just have to chalk it up to, I don't know. Well, I don't know why that lost, but that lost and lost miserably. Atlanta wins. OKC wins. Minnesota wins. There's like a fight in this game. Minnesota wins anyway. Denver wins. Magic lose. Both these teams had injuries and were starting to get lower on margin, but Magic should have won this game according to the algorithm. They didn't. Heat win. Sixers lose, but they were much more injured than Indiana, and this margin was really close. So this is kind of understandable when you see a team with a low health number and you look at whatever the Sixers injuries were. When we look at their injuries, we see that, yes, people were out. Kelly Oubre was out, Nicholas Batum was out, and Joel Embiid was game time decision with a hip. Hips hurt. Hips are something you got to watch. So that makes sense that they didn't win this game. Memphis, this was a really close margin game, and they do lose to the Lakers, and they lose by a lot. So the algorithm didn't have them losing by this much. So that's pretty much a miss. But here, look at how injured Portland was, 68%. It was obvious to take the Jazz when you see this kind of injury number. So I don't even call this wrong. Algorithm was pointing out that you need to play the Jazz at a game that's this close of a margin, and this team is so heavily injured. So when I see 5-5 here, I'm looking more as like, this was actually kind of like 6-4 or 6-3-1, saying like stay away from the Sixers because of their injuries here. So it's not that bad. And it shows you that using the health percentages and the margins in order, the NBA, it's still pretty darn reliable. So NBA is my recommendation is the second best algorithm. Third best will be NFL. Even though NFL was extremely frustrating this week, and it has been frustrating a lot this year, I'm not going to lie to you, it hasn't been a great year so far. We still got weeks to go, but it puts the Ravens on top here this past week. They have a 2-touchdown lead, I think, going into the fourth quarter, right? 31 yeah, they were up. They were right about where it needed to be. They were right around like 31-14, I think. And then so Lamar hits somebody in the head with a pass, and they come back pick six the other way, and then they score, and then they miss an extra point, and then they end up winning by a field goal at the buzzer. And it's just really frustrating because it had the Ravens crushing this game, and they've been playing great, and yet somehow they lose. It is sports. You just have to get used to that, no matter how much I can't ever seem to get used to that. You just have to get used to it. So that's a bummer. Cowboys crush it. Everyone expected that with the Giants' new quarterback. The Giants are not a professional football team. Let's face it. They're not good. I don't know what happened in this game. I fell asleep early. I was tired on Monday. I missed this entire game. I woke up to tweets from Trayvon Diggs saying, "Get my brother out of Buffalo. Come here, Stephon. You got to get out of Buffalo." Yeah, everybody wants to get out of Buffalo. Even people in Buffalo, everybody wants to get out of Buffalo. The Sabres are losing to the Bruins, and the Bills are losing to the Broncos on Monday night. Russell Wilson apparently working some magic. As you can see, something stunted the Bills' offense in this game, and that caused problems. But you cannot have 2 games up here losing. Algorithm, you can't do this. You have to be winning these games. It's just made NFL just frustrating, right? Saints lose to the Vikings. They give up more, I don't know what happened. This, how does Cincinnati lose after they've been playing better? But they did. At least you get the Raiders winning as, I think they were an underdog before I updated this. I think the Raiders actually were an underdog at one point. They win. Steelers win. Niners win. Commanders blow this game. I also didn't catch the end of this game. At least they covered, but they lose. Arizona does win as an underdog, and the Titans have no offense, even with Derrick Henry and Wise. So it wins 1 out of 3 underdogs, although I think Vegas was an underdog before. Yeah, this is still an underdog line actually for Vegas. So it wins 2 out of 4 underdogs, and 3 out of 4 of them cover the spread. So it's not awful. So I don't want to keep complaining and be like, listen, things aren't great this year. It's still pretty good. It's still okay. It's still okay. But I want to be able to tell you every week this thing wins 7 out of the top 8 games, not 6 out of the top 8 games, or 6 and 4 in the top 10 games. I don't want to tell you that. I want to be winning these Ravens and Bills games. It just didn't happen. We'll update this for week 11. This algorithm does get better throughout the year, so we'll keep that. How do we do on over-unders? Oh, goodness. 3 and 11? Oh, my gosh. That's terrible. Yuck. Yeah, this file needs some work. All right, so that's NFL. Let's go to college football, and then we'll finish off with hockey. So college football, I haven't been focusing hardly at all on. I watched this sport for a couple weeks back at like week 4 and week 5 just to get this thing rolling. It's really mishmash, and I'm not completely happy with what's going on. I mean, how do we lose like Fresno State losing to San Jose State at the top of the list? They get spanked. Like what? I mean, there's some wins up here. How are we doing with underdogs? Like you can see underdog lines. Like here's one: Syracuse beat Pittsburgh. Okay, that's good. Central Florida beat Oklahoma State. That's good. What about more underdogs? Now here's a loser. These 2 lost. Brigham Young loses. Auburn wins. Florida International gets destroyed, and it has them winning this game, although it has a negative algorithm. This file needs a lot of work. So those that ask me about college football, it's just not really my game, and I would need some serious investment to spend a lot more time on this to try to get this to do better things. But it's got such a limited season, and we're coming toward the end of the season, that it really doesn't make a lot of sense to spend much time this year doing it. Although I'm sure the bowl games will be fun and everything, but I mean, I'll just keep running it, but you can see it's not taking up a lot of my time, and I'm not selling. I hardly sell any of these. So it's just out there, and it's part of the package if you want to buy the daily $69, because you'll get it and you can start messing around with it and look at how it's constructed. So that's college football. And we'll finish off with hockey, a sport that I do pay attention to every day. I mean, I watch, I go to games, I play. I have some comments about the injury or the death of the player in England who was from Minnesota and who was an NHL player at one time. I watched the clip of that, and I can tell you that was a reckless play by the defender that looked like he was trying to lunge and hit the player. And then he got his stick caught in the legs of the defenseman, and it changed his body weight distribution. And so he was trying to lunge for trying to meet the player and hit him. Because he got the bottom of the stick stuck in the defenseman's legs, it kind of pulled him down when he went to lunge. And I think that's why his foot looks like it comes up as a martial arts kick. And I don't think he meant to actually kick him. I think he meant to try to lunge at him and didn't realize what was going to happen when he was wedged and stuck with his right arm. Because I mean, why on earth would you try to kick someone in the face? Like that is insane. And I do not think he meant to do that. I think he meant to try to make a blind hit on the player and then ended up getting himself stuck and did not. He should have gone down instead of going up, but he was trying to lunge and hit the player. It's just a very sad instance of what can happen with really sharp hockey blades, and you've got to pay attention out there because it is dangerous. So everyone, neck guards can be helpful. Although I actually think a neck guard may not have saved that player's life, depending on where he got hit, because the neck guard still exposes some area of the neck. Hey, well, enough talking about death. I wanted to discuss that play because the player got charged with manslaughter. And I do understand charges there because it looks like he kicked him. But when you actually see what was going on and what the player looked like he was thinking and what happened to his right hand and his stick, you realize that he got stuck when trying to lunge, and that's why he went upward. And it's reckless, but I don't think it was intentional. Anyway, hockey had a good day on Tuesday after all that. Won a lot of games and won some underdogs. Like it picked off St. Louis here. 40%. I know the score doesn't say they win, but you got to look at this adjusted power. That's the thing we look at here. Anaheim had them winning. They won. Did have the exact score in that game. Had Winnipeg winning. Had Florida winning, of course. Had Dallas winning. Had Vegas beating Washington, but look at these good goaltenders. So even though Washington wins this game, Charlie Lindgren, one of the fan favorites of the algorithm, I did some videos last year about he had a great save percentage with St. Louis when he got traded over from St. Louis to Washington. And I knew this was going to be a low-scoring game because of these good goaltenders. And sure enough, it was. And Charlie Lindgren played exceptional. And it was really 1-0 with, I believe, 2 empty nets. Or it was an empty net and then a goal after an empty net on an actual goaltender. So they were 2 late goals. It was really 1-0. So that's a close game that's lost, but it happens. Montreal is the only game we lost, really, badly. So 2-1 Calgary wins. Has Pittsburgh, has Boston, and this was a very, very good day. This is rare though. NHL does not usually go 7-2 and does not usually pick off, underdog here, underdog here. It usually doesn't do that. So hockey is a tough game to predict, and this just happened to be a day where it worked well. But it's a great game to watch and to play. So this is part of the package, and it's definitely one that if I have a chance to update it any day, I do update it every day because I like to know. And this one's so fast. Let me show you how quick this one is to update. I mean, this one's really, really fast to update. You go into NHL games, you edit this, we will be able to get an NHL look that's good enough for the day. All you do is you change 2 different dates in the queries. Go to source, change this to the 15th. Okay, close and load. Then you do the same thing for the starting goalies. There's one thing I'm not going to do because I'm going to do this extremely fast, but this will still give you a good enough look for the day. You go to the starting goalies, you change that to the current day. Close and load. Then you go and you refresh all of these. Data, queries and connections, or just data, refresh all right here. And it's going to refresh everything, the injury report, the player stats, the skaters, the goalie stats. Everything gets updated all at once. And there it goes. So the reason this one can work automatically is because there's not a paywall behind NHL stats on RotoWire. They make you pay for every other sport, but they don't make you pay for hockey. It's because it's so difficult to win gambling on hockey that they just don't do it. I believe that's the case. So then all that updates and the odds update, everything updates right here. You just grab this and you go throw it in the cube. And you put the current day. And you can see why I can offer this one for like $14 because now we're done. We're basically done. Just one other thing I could have done. I could have updated the standing. And voila, there it is. It's Philly beating Carolina, everybody. Look at this at an underdog line. Watch out, because Kochikov, Piotr, is expected. We'll see if they end up going with Frederick Anderson, because it would change the projection in this game, which is why you need to stay current with goaltenders. Goaltenders matter, and a 62% goaltender is a lower ranking, and that would put Philly over the top. So you need to see who's actually starting in this game before you make a bet. All expected goalies down here. Skinner and Seattle. This game ends up being a draw with these two goaltenders because of the difficulty Edmonton's been having lately, although they've been playing a little better the last few games. Anaheim can beat Colorado at a plus 235 line with Dostal in net instead of Gibson. Interesting. Anaheim has been playing better. They actually have as good a record as Colorado does. So keep that in mind, right? Big underdogs here. Philly, Anaheim, and then Vancouver absolutely running over the Islanders. So this is the number one pick of the day is Vancouver. So if you're looking at straight bets on hockey today, it's Vancouver to win. It's Anaheim to win. It's Philly to win, but wait till the goalies come out. And it's bet the draw in Seattle and Edmonton. Bet the tie, which pays like 3-1. So that's all the algorithms to update. $69 gets you all of them. I'm restructuring all my payouts or all my prices for all of the algorithms so that I just, whatever's active and going, you get for $69 and you get an email with all of them. So it's a great deal. Most of them will be current. If for some reason they're not current, I will try to get you the most current version of it after I get time to do that. But I'll just shoot an email over to you with all of them when you purchase that. All right. So good luck, everybody. May all your picks be winning. That's the algorithm update. They had a good day yesterday. Hopefully they'll continue to have good days. All right. Good luck.